Yes, people. What's going on? What's going on? Sorry, excuse me, just getting my breath back then. But people, big up to everybody who's watching right now. Adam, I see you bopping with the theme tune. You missed the theme tune, have you?
That's it, mate. It's been a while on it. I thought, you know what, I need to get some intro music fixed from Saeed, mate. And I'm in.
Absolutely.
Bopping.
Telling you, man, if we're gonna go into lockdown, I've got a bit of tunes for people if they can't get to any clubs and bars, man. I'm telling you now, man. But big up to everybody who's watching right now. Long time waiting. Yes, it has been, man. People get busy. Adam's been to a lot of Christmas parties. How they been the Christmas parties, Adam?
Mate, I'm getting in as many as I can before we get shut out again. So I'm glad I did now.
Yeah, exactly. You know what it is? You know what it is, yeah? When he said 27th, we're going to be in lockdown, I just thought to myself, you know what? Let me get my last one in on the 26th of on Boxing Day, basically. And I just thought to myself, you know, if there's one day where we're going to get it in, it's all a bit of a joke, innit, Adam? How you cope with everything at the minute and just in general.
It's that, mate, isn't it? You've got a balance taking it. What needs to be taken serious and what is basically a joke and is stringing us on. There's a lot of people of the opinion that we're being strung on. As Saeed sorts his camera out. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the big screen. It is Adam, and I'm here running the show. While Saeed just brought back in.
Just back in.
So it's one of them, innit, mate? I just said then, it's like you don't know what to take seriously right now. I'm reading reports tonight saying that, I knew it wasn't as serious anyway from someone I know who works in and around the health industry and NHS, that it isn't as serious. It's not as deadly, the new strain. It's just the fact that it's just clogging up hospitals and people who really need treatment are the ones that are suffering. And you know what? I do agree with that. I think there's people who are waiting and COVID just needs to take a sidestep. At the moment, it's taking too much of a priority and getting in the way. So if it helps keep people in the operating theatres that need to be there, then I understand elements of it, but don't overreact. I don't agree with what Wales are doing, what Northern Ireland are doing, Scotland are doing. I do think that we need to just go head to head with it and try and crack on as normal as possible, mate, because we're all being jabbed. I've had my booster jab today. I'm fully up to date with everything now. So it's what it is, mate. We just want normality. As long as we don't do anything stupid, wear your mask where need to be worn, and you know what I mean, keep your hands clean, stay safe, then there must be an element of it. And if it gets too bad, then we may see a little bit of annoying lockdown or new restrictions or whatnot. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be as bad as the last time, and I'm not overreacting to it. And I'm not letting it stress me out, mate.
Yeah, 100%. That's the best thing for me for everyone's mental health is just that we have got football still with us. You know, I don't know whether the stadiums will be as full as the after the 26th. We'll have to find out because Scotland, I don't know why, but they said 500 fans. I mean, imagine 500 dotted around Old Trafford, mate. It'd be like just little minions.
Nah, mate, that'd be like one executive suite.
You know what? You know what United are like anyway. They'd probably put the people up in tier 3 of Alex Ferguson's stand.
Mate, they'll put one in each section, won't they?
Yeah,
that many sections. But do you know what, mate? You could fill the executive boxes with 500 people at Old Trafford. Exactly. That way. Yeah, there you go. There's your 500. Keep them all behind glass.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I just think for me, football being back on, I think that's the main thing for everyone's sake. You know what I mean? We've kind of endured this for a while. You know, we've sacrificed, you know, everything and whatnot. Like you said, a year out of football was hard enough, but you know, we're just getting back into it. It's a new era now. You know what I mean? Got my ticket. Obviously, absolutely. But it's a new era now. We're trying to look forward to something. And that's why I titled the video, Are Man United Ready? You know, with all this that's gone on, Adam, it's like, you know, Ralph Rangnick's been dealt with the wrong hand. It's not really had a good, you know, like, you know, what would I call it? Ride into management, you know. How have you made of it so far? And do you think United will be ready after this?
Do you know what, mate? I was, and everyone knows the work I do on United Stand. I brought up this issue that I had numerous times, and that's one of how Premier League players, elite Premier League players who are at the peak of their fitness, can cope with something like COVID. And when it goes into the players, and then we question how they're going to be ready, then I had big sort of worry about it, because I remember Pogba coming back, I remember Saint-Maximin coming back, and you know what I mean, these men couldn't even run to the end of the street without being out of breath. And I'm like, oh God.
True.
But now I'm thinking, oh, that was before. I'm like, we're vaccinated now. Most people are vaccinated, and it can fight it quicker, and it doesn't hit them as hard. And then I watched Spurs come back against Liverpool, mate, and I thought, wow, them guys have had, 3 weeks off with it? Yeah, and they came back raring to go, mate. So I was looking at that going, that's a positive for me. And I'm thinking, you know what? Ralph gets an extra week behind closed doors with these players. He gets a bit longer to actually get into them and get things across. Then, you know what? This might actually work in our favour in a way. Instead of me thinking on the negative side, which it was swaying towards, it actually pushed me back going, when I seen what Conte had done with Spurs and how they reacted, I thought, you know what? We've got a chance here.
Absolutely.
It's a real chance. And that's what I took from it. I'm thinking, right, okay, now I know all the players are coming back. Ronaldo came back today. Yeah. Quite a big chunk of the squad is back. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, we don't play till Monday. Plenty of time. I'm looking forward to it now, mate. I really am.
Yeah, absolutely. Same. I'm looking forward to it. You know what I mean? I think, funny enough, I think this might be the longest week since it's been announced that we have football back. I think football was announced for United that it could be a go-ahead on Monday. So we've got to wait a full week. I think that for me, it's been the longest. It's going to be the longest wait, because before that, it was looking bleak with everyone getting the COVID and whatnot, and the squad being decimated. But could we be back in a good state? I see Varane today coming back.
Oh, it's a good sight, isn't it, mate?
Oh, mate, honestly, man, I've never ever been so kind of satisfied with Varane coming back into training. It's just that kind of play that is world class. Is a Rolls Royce of a defender. Is like is quality. It's like you've had Sunday League, and when you see that your main player is back, it gives you a belief, doesn't it? That you're ready. You're ready to kick on.
Do you know what, mate? And the combination side of that is you've got Ralph Rangnick giving out instructions. He's a man who can take that onto the pitch and be his voice on the pitch. Yeah. You know what I mean? That experience at the highest level. You've got a manager that these players are going to obviously respect coaching wise, and they will be listening to him. And players like Varane will go in and go, right, okay, I can see exactly elite level coaching and management that this guy is. I mean, we've got to see it in the Premier League yet. He's got to be proven, but his reputation is there. We know he has got something. And I'm thinking elite level players like Ronaldo, like Varane, going to take that onto the pitch for him. It's not an inexperienced team anymore. And you know what I mean? With Varane back in there, another leader. Oh man, it bodes well, doesn't it? It gives you that little bit of belief that we can come back and hit the ground running, hopefully. I just want Varane to stay fit and get a full season out of him. You know what I mean? We've got two brilliant players at this football club that we've hardly seen because of injuries in Varane and Cavani. If both of them were in constantly, you know what? We may even have still seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the job, mate. That's how good these guys are. And now we've got a bit of a resurgence. 3 wins in a row. We can beat Newcastle 4 in a row. And we're right up there in the mix again. Then maybe we just struck lucky. Maybe things just fell into place at the right time, mate. And I'm thinking Varane back. You know what I mean? Who else? So Cavani is fit. Varane is fit. It's going to be interesting times how he balances this out now, because he's not changed the team for 2 games straight. This team hasn't. Well, let's say he kept the Arsenal team. He kept that against Palace. He then kept that for Norwich. Is he going to do the same again for Newcastle, or has he seen enough on the training ground now? 2 weeks without a game to say.
That's what I was going to say.
Hopefully, I will see more.
Hopefully, he's got a press conference tomorrow. Hopefully, we can see more. Just before I ask you this question, Alien Tenno says, thoughts on Millie Savage? I think he's talking about Milinkovic Savage. I personally think it's about maybe 3 years too late.
It's another one, mate, and it's been lingering around for a while. And I don't know, mate. Honestly, I've not seen anyone else come in for him. Why would we be going in for him now? Has he pulled up enough trees?
No,
is he better than what we've got? People would argue, yes, he is better than what we've got. But there's other players I think who are better. That's my shout on that one, I think.
Absolutely. Then that's the thing I was talking about. When you looked at the training, has there been enough training for someone like Cavani to come in? You know, Martial, some people who have not been played, Donny. You know, has there been enough training? Has Ralph even had enough time to kind of say, is there been enough time for rotation? And that for me would be a key one. Wan-Bissaka coming back from his trial as well. Does that bode well for him? So when you're looking at the kind of the squad at the minute, is it better for us to kind of know and Ralph to kind of keep us on his toes, or would you want continuity? You know, it's a crazy one, isn't it? Because you don't know which one you want, because this little bit of a break has kind of hampered things tomorrow. You know, hampered things in general, really.
It is. That's it. You wanted to see what he did with a 2-week game week. If he changed plays, if he changed it up, more than one game a week. That was what Brentford was. And then they cancelled Brighton. I'm thinking, you know what? 2 tactically good sound teams who I wanted to see him put his wits against. And I think he would have learned a lot from them games. But he's a coach as well, mate. And he's taken advantage of this. I mean, I said this the other day on another show where it's like, has he just taken advantage of the situation to actually use his time and cheat a little bit in a way? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get a bit more time with the players before they go out on the pitch. Because we quite clearly we're lacking against Norwich. It wasn't coming across. I do think it's got in the way a bit, but on the other hand, mate, I think it's helped. I do think it has helped him a bit. And we'll see. I'm hoping I'm going to see that on Newcastle. And that's why I'm looking forward to this game more than anything, mate, because he's had that extra bit of time and I want to see what he's done with it.
Absolutely. Especially with us talking about the fitness level as well. I don't know if the fitness level will be there. I think Newcastle have played every single game, and that's the key. And obviously, you're going to be going to the game at Newcastle. You know, it's one of them journeys. We always seem to play them in the winter when it's cold and it's
mate, I know it is freezing, isn't it?
We literally the last 3-4 seasons we played them all in the winter. I can't remember the last time we played Newcastle away in the summer. I think you might have to go back a while back, mate. I don't know.
I think it was under Moyes, I think it was under Moyes.
That's what I'm saying. Under Moyes. So, these are the kind of things I always look up, because I think, when you're in that kind of December period, you always say to yourself, Newcastle are fighting for their lives. So do you think that will be good, like a good nip for that game, looking at, Newcastle are kind of fighting for their lives? Or do you just think we go out there, get the 1-0, scrape it, and get out? Because Nathan says they were poor against Newcastle, but I tell you what, mate, they showed a bit of promising signs in the first half. Because Pep Guardiola said they weren't good in the first half.
Yeah, they've got that defence that you've always got a chance against Newcastle, and that's your ultimate hope, innit? I mean, I know they've got people that can threaten us, but that's why I'm thinking Varane back. That's why I'm thinking our 2 fullbacks in being in form, the clean sheets back to back. That just helps us out a little bit. As long as we're solid against Newcastle and we don't make mistakes, then we win the game. That's how I see it. We do win the game as long as we're not over. As long as we don't get carried away and we don't. What's the word? Okay, we don't get too ahead of ourselves. Like we can just turn up there like everyone and spank them, because we won't. Knowing United, we won't. We're going to have to work for this game. That's why I've gone with 2-0 for it. I think we're going to have to grind our way through a little bit of this game. We've got to find our feet, and then I think the class will take over. We've just got to have the confidence on the ball to play our game and stop worrying, stop reverting back to type and what we used to do. Because that's what we did against Norwich, mate. We sort of went backwards and we went, why? What? We went to our safe bet where it was just like, let's just get rid of the ball. Do you know what I mean? Let's not try and play with it. Let's just go back to what we was doing under Ole. I'm hoping that these couple of weeks now has put us in a position to go, right, Newcastle are fighting. They're desperate for the points. But we have got more than enough. And if we play our game, that defence, we should tear them apart. We really should. I've watched their defending. It is shambolic.
It's terrible.
They have not got a defensive coach there in Eddie Howe. And they only know one way. And if they do come at us, then bring it on, because I do feel like they are nowhere near as organised as what Norwich were going to be, or Crystal Palace. I think we will open them up, mate.
Yeah. AHK, big up to you. He said, do you think Van der Beek will start against Newcastle? Apparently, he went home training early, apparently.
Yeah, I don't think he's quite ready yet, and I don't think he'll play.
Yeah, I actually feel sorry for Donny. He's probably... Have you witnessed anyone like Donny Van der Beek since you've been watching United in terms of just not had any luck at all?
Mate, it's just been one thing after another, hasn't it? The manager change, you thought, this is it, we're going to crack it. Then the game postponement, which I thought he probably might have come in against Brentford, because you know what I mean, 2 games in a week. Ranić needs to sort of strengthen it up a bit and put some fresh legs in there, because the team are obviously getting used to this higher sort of energetic style of football. And we've seen that they struggled against Norwich. So I was thinking he was going to change it up and bring him in there. And we had the COVID cases. Then we had the delays, 2 games missed. And I'm thinking, Christ, tonight, is this man ever going to get a shot? And then he's ill again now. And I'm thinking, all right, Christmas period, plenty of games. Is it coming now? You're thinking the backlog of games coming up is going to help him. We are going to have to see Donny van der Beek play some games, because we've only got a few midfielders. We know in terms of Matic, Donny, Fred and McTominay, they're probably the only 4 that can slot in that role there. You could have Pogba to it if you wanted, but on that question, mate, Donny van der Beek is probably the most unluckiest player that's ever been bought by Manchester United. Yeah. It really is, because under Solskjaer, ill-treated, and definitely was sold a dream that wasn't there. And now he's just been unlucky with his own sort of illnesses, injuries or snags. And you're dead right, mate. I do feel really sorry for the guy. He just needs a break. He needs a goal. He needs to just have that one decent game, and then, right, okay, there you go, mate. Take off from there, and let's see what you've really got. Because there is a player there, we all know, but he just come up against a brick wall every time, and there'll be a moment, mate. They will, I'm sure they will. Yeah, I just hope it comes soon and he forgets what he was, because that can happen with players as well. He can forget what they are and lose why we actually brought him in, which was because he's a quality box-to-box, holding or attacking midfielder, whichever way. He's very good, and I do hope we see the best of him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Joanne, I think Adam went for 2-0. I think we'll win 2-0 as well. I think we'll kind of get that goal, and then we'll kind of like huff and puff, and then we'll get like the win of the break. Similar to like maybe the times under Ollie sometime, where we'd kind of like be 2-1 and then we'd get the last goal 3-1. I think our quality is just immense. So, you know, I think it will pay inevitable. Big up to Stringer there, says get the likes up. Yep, if you are watching right now, please subscribe. If you do, hit the like button as you can. What have you made of the new appointment of I forgot his name. Is it called Owen? Is it Owen?
Yeah, I'll get it up now. Actually.
Yeah, the same name as Owen, isn't it? The way it's spelled.
Yeah, so it's Owen Sharp. He's the new coach, and he's assembling his team, innit? I mean, bit by bit. You know what I mean? Sports psychologist there, new coaching. It is going, and this is going to be his number 2 as well, by all accounts.
Number 2, yeah. This Ewan, maybe. Ewan it's called, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be... It's interesting times, mate. It really is. Someone messaged me, DM me the other day, saying, can you really see Ranić not staying longer than the 6 months with him bringing all this coaching set up and all these players? They're not all going to come for 6-month contracts. I'm like, there'll be something in the water, because these people, he's dragging these people out of places I didn't even know existed, mate. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, who's this guy? Where's that guy? And I said this all along. I said, this, for me, number 2's coaches, as long as they work for the man himself, then I'm not bothered where they're from. He will know, Ranić will know, and for me, I'm happy to go with whoever he picks, and hopefully we'll see the results on the pitch, mate. But it's good that he's bringing in staff that he can trust, and it's good that he's doing it so quickly, mate, as well. I mean, it's not easy doing this now with Brexit and getting these contracts over the line and work permits and whatnot. But he's being very proactive, and I'm liking it, mate. It's good to see. It's about time we actually was on the front foot, and we was the ones that were moving forward and looking in a different direction. Like I said, new movement, new direction on the training ground, new sports psychologist in place. And you know what? Bring it on, mate. Bring it on. It's only a good thing, and we can't really judge it until we've been in a few games with him. Hopefully, we do see some improvement on the pitch, and these guys are who Ralph is hoping they are going to be, which is the ones that take us to that next level again.
Absolutely. Big up to Nathan Minas. He says, with Ralph getting somebody coaching, do you think he'll be beyond the season. Either he's sorting out the new manager or he's staying. Yeah, that's what literally we just discussed that now. I think for me, in my personal opinion, I think it does maybe give an inclination that he might stay, but also I think, you know, sometimes we always like think too far ahead, you know, just enjoy it for now and then see where we end up, you know what I mean? You know, people saying that if he wins the Champions League, if he wins this, if he wins that, should he stay on? I think ultimately you don't want to get sucked into the interim role, but also, you know, let's see what happens when he comes into the role and what happens in the future, because you don't know what's going to go on. It could go terribly wrong, Adam. You just don't know. And in a minute, we just have to kind of almost analyze it. And for me, we should be in a very, very good, you know, in good fortune, because he's brought in guys who are credible at least, or who seem to be kind of knowing, you know, sports psychologists. Then you go and get analysis, and then you go, you know, it seems like it's like the puzzles seem right, rather than before it was like, yeah, let me get my best mate. Let me get Phelan. Yeah, he knows the club well. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of sentiment. Now it's actual people that know their job at least. So, you know, it can only be good news, can it?
It is, mate. I'm loving it. Like I said, I don't want to know who they are. I don't want to know the history. I don't need to look for the history. All I need to know is that Ralph wants them. All I need to know is that Ralph's the one with the pedigree, and if he's picking these men, then that is where my confidence lies. I'm all in on the manager. The thing is, what people will come back and say against it is, well, you know what I mean? This is what Solskjaer was doing. And no one backed the coaches there. I went, well, Solskjaer really hasn't got the coaching pedigree, and that was the biggest thing of all.
Yeah, true.
And we knew the people that he was bringing in, when you looked into their history, it's what it is. Cups of tea. Yeah, I have.
Big up Caroline. Big up to Caroline. Yeah.
And it's, I put that out on my Instagram before.
All right, yeah.
Rate my tea. The biggest thing was, it was like, we knew where these managers, Ole and where his coaches had failed before. We knew that they didn't have the pedigree to back them up. Ranić has got the pedigree. He knows what he needs to make that work and has done before. That's why it's different this time, mate. And that's why I believe that him doing what he's doing now and who he's picking is probably some of the biggest decisions going forward for us, let alone the players who are leaving and coming in. This is where it's going to count, I think, because we know we've not been coached right for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I do believe now that we've got a team assembling that is going to be the difference. And I think it will make a difference, and we'll start seeing that. Maybe not straight away, mate, but I do think that... Merry Christmas, by the way.
Yeah,
I do believe that we're going to see it probably coming in through the end of January now, with all the games coming into February. It's going to take a little bit of time, but bit by bit, mate.
Would you have rather had, because, you know, we've got a lot of games, you know, is it hard to get the game plan in, or do you think it's just a case of we just have to get on with it? And, you know, maybe fans might not have to expect the quick Gergen press and the, you know, because this game thick and fast, mate. You know, to do that level of coaching, it's going to take a lot of, you know, a lot of hard work and training. But I think it's one of them things where, you know, maybe we just have these games, so we don't have to think about, you know, who we're playing against. We just go out there, have the firm belief that we're Man United and we can take on anyone.
This is it, mate. We definitely are going to need a little bit of time to change this team, because it's like other managers coming in and getting the instant impact and seeing it. It's like Tuchel. And I said, Tuchel didn't get his way straight away. It was a tough start for him. A couple of games in, it wasn't great. And let's not forget, we are only 2 Premier League games in with Ralph. So let's just give it time. Let's just get this across. And this is why I think, Saeed, that he took that extra break. This is why I think he did it. He did it on purpose, I think, just to get some more time with the players, to get it across. And I do think we're going to see a different team come out against Newcastle, not in personnel, but in the way we play. I do believe that we are going to see what has been missing, that extra bit, the extra yards. I think we're going to see more of what happened at the start of the Crystal Palace game. I do believe that. Maybe we'll see it for a half a game. Maybe it will be bit by bit. Maybe we'll eventually get an hour. of that press. Maybe we'd have actually put the game to bed by then and can sit off and rest a little bit. But because we can't put the ball in the net at the moment, it's just making that look a little bit more awkward and a bit harder to implement, in my opinion. Because when you're winning and you're doing that, it's easier to do it, mate, innit? But when you've got the element of fear and you haven't scored, and then you go into the second half and you're still not scored, you're thinking, all this work, are we going to lose after doing all this work?
Yeah, true.
On the player's mind, doesn't it? So, for me, I think the sooner the players start linking up and understanding the system, we start getting a few goals behind us, which will come with the quality of our forward line. Then I think we'll see more and more and more of it. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, Nathan Miller says he's surprised Mickey McFreddo, you think, is trying to work out things out. I think he's going to try and work things out. I really do. I think don't be surprised if he keeps seeing the same names prop out. I think it depends with Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw's one. He's going to have to make his way back. The rest of them, I'm not sure. For me, I like this, man. I'm all for it because I seen a lot of favourites last year under Ollie, and I didn't like it because I just thought certain players should have got the rub of the green. I thought some of the players should have got more opportunities. So I'm all for it, me. I don't know how you are, but I'm all for just kind of, the manager kind of, maybe base it on training ground and his system. How
he's done it already, mate, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's done it with Alanga. He brought him in because he had a good training session.
There you go.
And this is where I think Newcastle is going to be different to what we've seen so far. I do believe that we will have gone to that next step. It may not be a big step, but I think we're going to have seen some little bits implemented into our game against Newcastle that we've not seen against Palace, Young Boys, or Norwich. I do believe it's going to be that little bit more. Like I said, it's just not going to come straight away. I know it's not with our team. We're just that stuck in our ways that we turn up to ground sometimes with an arrogance of Manchester United, thinking we're just going to walk over teams. Absolutely. And you can see it in the way we set up. It's like, earn your spot first. Do what Liverpool and City do. Put the yards in. Do you know what I mean? Put your yards in and then let your quality take over. Because if we do that, then more often than not, mate, we're not even going to be talking about scraping top fours. We're going to be talking about being up there and amongst it. We've just gone into games arrogantly thinking we can walk over teams at times. And that has to be taken away from the players. It has to be trained out of them. And I think the sports psychologists, along with Ranić and his ways and the positivity and how he wants to implement that success that he has had in the past in building strategies and formations and like the press and the high energy football, then I do believe that we are going to win more. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but it has to, the mentality of the players has to change with the physical side and the fitness of the players as well, because they need to be trusting in what they're doing. And I think his team that he's building is why I have confidence in it working. Now, I could be falling flat on my face, mate. Like you said, it can go totally wrong, pal.
I know really it could.
We've had the excitement before with new managers, and we've all had egg on our face.
I'm telling you, mate. I was singing Ollie's at the wheel, and
this is it, mate. This is it.
You get caught in the emotion.
He's now but the fact that he's going upstairs as well later, it still gives me that hope that it's the right step, and he's not going to be scared by any of these players. He's not going to rest until all these players are singing from the same hymn sheet, and then he moves on to the next manager, and he's like, well, I know what these players are like. It's just going to drop down to the next guy, and then hopefully we move on again to the next level again, because people always say, look, Ranić's not won anything. He's never been on the big stage, this and that. Fair enough. I understand that. But what he does do and where his hard work is laying foundations for success, and that's proven. And I do believe he's in the right place right now, because we need serious surgery. I just think he has got his team in place now. This is the first step of the big rebuild, especially with the players and the coaching setup and everything in the football philosophy at United just needs changing, and he is the first step. I do believe Ollie brought a little bit of a vibe back, but we completely lost that and completely lost our way. I think Ranić's just going to come in with a stern hand, and I think he will put us on the right track. Will he be the man that brings us a success back? Probably not, but he will put us on the right track, I feel.
That for me will be the main kind of thing for me, because we are asking a lot maybe in 6 months to do But I think right now we can only just anticipate that it will be, good things, and he will lay the foundation in terms of getting these guys. For me, I think it's a mental edge for me because I look at the players. I think, they've not won anything. I was watching today Martial's video, and he was talking about the FA Cup, and that for me is like one of the last trophies that we've got. For me, it's about changing the mentality of the squad. And that's the last trophy. Barring the Europa League. We've got. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, it was the Europa, wasn't it?
Yeah, Europa, and then so I think they were both in the same. Were they both in the same season? Was that 2016?
No, we had won the FA Cup,
and
then Jose came in and won the League Cup and the Europa League, and we thought, right, 3 trophies in 2 years, we're hitting it back, and then we didn't win anything. We've not won anything since then. So
there you go. So I think it's about changing the kind of mentality as well. Chris Rain is talking about Rashford and whether he can fit into the system. I think for me, it's going to be a lot of learning curve for these players. I thought Rashford was unbelievable under Van Gaal because Van Gaal was almost nurturing these players. Mourinho, not really a man to nurture. Oli, I would say he'd put an arm around you, but not in terms of tactically, maybe he would get into the next level. Do you think now that, so a lot of people saying the 4-4-2, 4-2-2, are you confident with this 4-2-2? Or are you thinking, because a lot of people are saying give it time. So are you confident it will work? What's your overall feeling with this 4-2-2?
Dude, you know what gives me confidence in it, mate, is when I was there watching the Palace game, you could see it from the stand. I didn't pick it out straight away because it wasn't a rigid 4-2-2.
Yeah.
You could see out of possession what the system was. It went strict 4-2-2, but in possession, the false wingers of Sancho and Bruno caused havoc with Crystal Palace in trying to get out. We absolutely packed the midfield. And then when the fullbacks had to come in to help with the midfield and the centre-backs, it gave room to our fullbacks to then bomb forward, who have been our biggest threat recently. But it is because of that system. It's going to take time for the players to learn it, but I did see how it works, and it is adaptable. It's not strict. In and out of possession, this system changes, and that's what's interesting, because when you really need a goal, it can change. You can sort of drop one in front of the defence and then push more forward, or you could easily just drop one more back in there and have like a 4-3-3. It is very adaptable, and I do like the look of it. It's going to change with personnel, and we'll probably work in different ways depending on who he picks in the teammate. That's the thing. It's like if you bring a Martial in for a Rashford, the system probably works in a different way because we haven't got the direct pace of Rashford.
Yeah,
and then could easily say, look, with Ronaldo in there and Cavani up top, you're going to have target men. Will we see more of the long ball and direct play, like Lindelof playing his diagonals and so forth? Because we did that a lot against Palace as well, and then picked up the second balls and played some percentage football. So there is options there. You can play it in different ways. It's not. I don't think it always has to be Cavani and Ronaldo.
Yeah, of course.
And I just think we have to use all our squad.
Absolutely. I think it's I think it's whether you utilize a squad or whether you get the best out of the formation, the system. These are the two things. But I think what a better way that we've got Ralph Rangnick and his team, not just Ralph Rangnick, his team, to fully kind of get that in. And I think as much as we can talk about the system or whatnot, there is still some time available for Ralph Rangnick to get a hold of this team and get a grip. 6 months, as much as it's short, I think it's going to be a good time for him to almost nurture these players and get these players coached 1v1 as well as a great the whole team as well. So we'll see. Zoateng TV says, big up to you. He goes, Seville is a perfect club for Tony Martial. He did an interview today. He looked bright. He looked happy. Whether I don't know when the interview was done. Yeah, he does. He does. He looks trim. He looks happy. He looked happy. What do you honestly see Martial leaving, especially with all this COVID and everything in the market? And what is his price tag for you? Because he still is 26. As much as we can say he's been inconsistent or whether we think he's did this and that, but 26, this and that. So he can, do you think he could be on his way out, or how do you see that all going?
I do see him going. But then again, you've always got that element of doubt. It's like I said this the other day on a show. It was the fact that he's stuck. He's probably the player who's in the worst position right now in terms of deciding what to do, because Cavani's gone in the summer, Ronaldo's gone the year after. Does he wait and fight for his place and then become 28 and miss out on a couple of years of football? Or does he move now? Does he move now? I mean, he's been here long enough now. And it's like, I always wanted every player to get a chance under Rangnick. But Rangnick, 6 months, has he got time to play everyone? I know we're saying we like to see the changes and him to use the squad. But is it enough for Martial to come in on the odd game? Because when everyone's fit, I don't see him starting. And is that enough for him? He's in a tough spot right now. It's not. He's not getting off lightly, to be honest. He has caused a lot of it himself by not taking his chances and not playing well. But like you said, mate, if he's putting it in training, then Rangnick's going to pick up on this. So maybe we are going to see Martial again. I mean, what have we got? 2 weeks before the window opens? It's going to be probably the most interesting January transfer window that this club's ever seen, mate.
It is.
So
I'm ready for it.
It's crazy, mate. It is going to be crazy. Do we see anyone come in? Do we see that midfielder come in? I'd rather wait and get the right midfielder in the summer, to be honest. I do think there's better ones available in the summer. So let's make this position, which has been key and has cost us for so many years, make sure that this position is done right and it's prioritised with the right man. If we can't get that man in January, don't go out and buy any Tom, Dick or Harry. Unless Rangnick really thinks it's going to work and it's a deal that we can't turn our nose up at, then yeah, but still, does that mean it's like I said, it's going to be crazy, mate, because I can see Matic going in the summer as well. So maybe he does bring another one in and then get another big name in the summer. It's really, really interesting. And that's why I think I wasn't expecting anything to happen in January, but now I'm expecting movement, mate.
That's why I said,
Martial could be part of that. He really could, mate.
He could be. Jesse Lingard's also part of that. Dean Henderson. Does he want to stick around? You know what I mean? And just do practice catches for David De Gea. You know what I mean? There's going to be a big reshuffle. That's why I said, in the title, will there be a big reshuffle? Will we go in for that CDM, as Chris Wayne says? Will we go in for it? When you look at the fact that,
mate. Yeah. What it has to be. Like I said, I don't think January will be the time, but there is one player that I think this team needs, and I think Rangnick sees it already. Yeah, that is that player there, mate.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the key for me. I don't know. For me, when people say, like, the guy that the people are saying, Boubacar Kamara, it's one of them things for me. Is it the perfect signing? No, that, like, a lot of people could say that, but I've seen Donny come in and just get sniffing, and it's like, it's adapted to the system, it's adapted to the style, to the even environment. A lot of people don't realize that, but adapted to the environment is another thing as well. Di Maria came in, he didn't like it, he wanted him straight out. It's adapted to the whole kind of movement that's going at United, because we could have a player that could be better than McTominay and Fred, but in reality they might not fit because it's the different way of them playing. And the club might want to sign him, and they might say, Kamara, we'll go for Kamara, and they try and put it on, what's it called, the Ralph Rangnick. But if he doesn't fit the system and doesn't fit what we're trying to do, then I'd rather just wait till January, because there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games coming up thick and fast. Can we have enough time to bed in another player?
It's one of them, innit? How long does Ralph need? Because if we're saying that he can bring a player in now and make it work, why can't he make some of the players that are already here work and then get that big name in the summer? How much of a role does he see himself playing as the manager of Manchester United? Is he truly believed that he's going to be gone and moving upstairs come July? These are questions that I think we may get answers for in January, mate, by seeing if he does bring anyone in. If he brings players in, then I'll be thinking he fancies himself here for a bit of a longer spell. If he doesn't, and I'm thinking, okay, now I can see us really falling into, well, not falling in, but going the way we should go, the way that we said we was going to. We don't get sucked into this interim manager, even though this one has got, like we said, pedigree and is better than what Ollie was.
Mm.
But January is going to tell us a lot of answers, mate. And it's going to be interesting because, like you said, there's players there who will probably think, I can do this role. And then how will they adapt to someone coming in and taking their role? Are they going to be then fully on board with Ralph's vision? I do believe I think he has to wean out a few players first, mate. He has to sieve the squad. And then I think maybe have a look at players who can come in and fit. I do think he has to get rid of players first because that's all we keep doing. We keep adding and adding and adding into the pot with more and more players. And the squad is huge. And then when some players start talking, when we do get injuries, and then players are supposed to come in and they're not fully on board because they think they should be number one. And Ollie's told all of these players before Ralph and the mismanagement of these players that they are something that they're not, that Ollie said, it's going to start coming back and hurting Ralph. So I do believe he just needs to go right to the board, say, look, if we cannot sell these players, get them all loaned out, get them out of the club and let me work. And that's what I think he needs to do. I think he needs to get rid of the players that he's not going to use. Definitely Anderson, all these types of players, if they're not going to play, loan them out, sell them, do what you can by any way means, get them out of the club until the end of the season. Yeah, and then we can deal with that probably better. I mean, Lingard will be gone on the free, Pogba will be gone on the free. It's not really going to be much of an issue for us. Not as big an issue as it is in January. So I do believe that he has to get rid of quite a lot first, mate, before we even see anyone coming the other way.
Absolutely, especially with this striker here, AR. I think we're already stacked with strikers, mate.
I know, mate.
Julian Tavares. I don't know who this guy is, mate.
I don't know enough.
You know, I've never heard of him, mate, to be honest with you. And that's a problem. You know, we bought Pelestri for 18. Diallo, okay. I watched him at Atlanta a few games. You know, very, very tiny player. But if you look at it, though, you know, he's another one that was 100 and what? You know, 20 million rising to 40 million. So, again, we can't just be buying players just for the sake of it. And I think that should be the kind of the theme, you know, going forward. Seen a few YouTube comps of him. He's an ex-R9. Oh, here we go, Adam. Here we go, man. You know what I mean? This is it, man. This is it. We're not in the YouTube world, Sarim. The problem is, mate, you know, we could have a player who looks the part. Remember Bebe? Do you remember Bebe? I watched YouTube comps of him, mate, and I thought, bloody hell. Because them days, you didn't have you know, back in the day, right? Especially Anderson. I remember Anderson when he was linked with United. I was in Dubai, and them days, you didn't have no transfer news. You used to watch it on BBC Sport. I remember when Anderson bought me, he was scoring absolute worldies.
For Porto.
Worldies, mate. And for Porto. And then when he came to United, yes, he was a good player, but he weren't that level that we've seen on the YouTube clips. You know what I mean? Let's be real. You know, Belly on Bebe, you know what I mean? It's just, we can't have this again. The club cannot be structured again to go this, you know, to go in that direction, is it?
It is definitely, mate. We can't. It just seemed like we were taking too much sort of advice from all different avenues and angles, and it just wasn't working. Back then, we could get away with it, though, because we had such a settled team and strong squad and first team that even a bit of a duckhead coming into the club would, you know what I mean, we could cover it up. We had more than enough. But right now, we're in a position where we can't afford to do that. We're nowhere near good enough to compete at the top. And to bring in the wrong player now would just set us back even more. When you haven't got that settled team and squad, then it's not going to work bringing in these players to try and integrate them. It needs to be on point. We said this about Ollie. He's got no time. This was his last chance. And he brought in the right players. He brought in 3 brilliant players. And the only reason he's not here is because he completely failed with the best. Now, are we going to see Ranić make the most of these players? Well, when Varane comes back, we will see, won't we? Because we've seen Sancho, we've seen him and Ronaldo in Ranić's teams now. 2 clean sheets, 2 wins. It's, again, mate, this is why I think we're not going to see anyone come in. I really don't. Yeah. I don't think it's the right time. I know we need him, but he needs to figure out who he's going first and then make that room for that player, because he's going to feel like he has to play certain players if they're there. And this is what all the managers, and this is all through Ole, keeping everyone. When he had a chance to get rid of players in the summer, he just didn't. He convinced Henderson and Lingard to stay. It's like, what's the point?
I know.
He's just not going to play. So he told them a lie, and now Ranić's picking up the pieces. So this is it. I think he needs to get rid. I don't think there's that up-and-comer
Sign Haaland
in January. I think maybe in the summer we'll see some big moves.
I can't wait
don't see it yet.
Yeah, I can't wait for the summer, to be honest. Haaland will be unbelievable. I think he would be, for me, my favourite signing in the summer. If we were to get one box office player, would be Haaland. But again, the amount of clubs that are in him, you know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. Mo said, do you think Maguire will be here in 2 years' time starting? We don't know. This is why, obviously I'm not calling Harry Beckenbauer anymore, and that tag's gone. But you just don't know with players. You know what I mean? That's why I think with players, right, I've kind of almost said to myself, under Ole, I couldn't really judge them because I couldn't really understand where they were, what level they were at. Because they were scoring goals, but then I didn't see the performances to match it. But now, they've got a clean slate under a manager who analyzes performances and has got an analyst. You might see players dropped. You might. Yeah. And that's a key thing for us as fans, because we now will base our decisions off, right, has he had a good game? Okay, fair enough. The next game, we might not see him because Ralph Rangnick will say, right, if you don't pick up your performances and I show you the tapes that you're not doing well, mate, you're off the pitch. And that's what it's going to be like, Wan-Bissaka, I think, might be the first one. Luke Shaw might be the second one. Who knows? It should all be a good thing for Man United to know that your position is never guaranteed in any team, really.
Mate, 100%. 100%. There is no guarantees ever at one of the most elite clubs in the world. And we've let it be. We've let it go to that state. Other ones wouldn't accept it. We did. And that's why we are where we are. Yeah. And now we're playing catch up with teams that we used to look down on and laugh.
Yeah.
Let them take us, mate. It just shows the Giants don't always have their day. I mean, look at Barcelona right now. Look what they chased. They stopped working with what was their blueprint in bringing the young players through, their up-and-coming players through the youth system. They look to just keep buying and buying and buying. It doesn't always work that way. Real Madrid are nowhere near the force that they used to be. Bayern Munich will be Bayern Munich. It's a fix of a league. How they just handpick every German player and take them from the clubs around them. But England right now is the best league in the world. And if you're not savvy, if you're not clever, and you don't follow the new modern day football blueprint, you get left behind. And we're a prime example of that, mate. We really are. And we're going to have to be like Pepe's, dropping De Bruyne to the bench, not playing Sterling, the player of the tournament in the Euros. And then all of a sudden, they come back in and they're like, bang, 100 million for Grealish. Don't give a toss about your price tag, mate. There's a nice spot on the bench. Got a heated seat for you there. Sit there for a bit until you're ready to play. This is what you have to be like, mate. There's no thing. It's like it's like Jota coming in, taking Firmino's place. Liverpool fans are raving about their front three, but now Jota's coming. Another feather in the cap. You know what I mean? You're not always going to be number one. The longer you leave the players in situ that you think are right and are good enough, and let's not forget, what have they won? Like you said, Saeed, mate, this team is a bunch of failures for United standards. And it pains me to say that. And I don't want to say that in a harsh way, but when you look on paper, what have we won the last 4 years, mate?
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? What have we won? So they're all part of the problem. And if they don't want to change and move in the direction that needs to be, then the direction is the door. It's as simple as that, mate.
Absolutely. Why you guys worried? It's not only Rangnick won't be dumb to buy and make silly presumptions. You have to remember, is it Hayato? Woodward is still there as a consultancy role. Is that the same consultancy role that Rangnick will be involved? Richard Arnold has took over as CEO. There is still a lot of problems, in the hierarchy. They failed to sack Ole. They give him a new contract. There's a lot of things that they've still done. So we can't remember that. You know what I mean? I didn't go to that protest for no reason. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of problems at this football club, so we have to be mindful. Just quickly before we kind of wrap up in the next 5 minutes or so, what do you think about like going ahead this season? You know, people are saying Arsenal ahead of us. You know what I
Not
mean? Do
worried
you
about
think?
them.
Yeah, exactly. How do you see our kind of our run going in? You know what I mean? You're obviously Newcastle away, then it's Wolves, then it's Burnley. It's gonna be you know, especially Wolves game will be tough. I think Burnley game will I think we'll edge them over. But you know, how do you see our next fixture on Aston Villa back to back? You know, these are games coming thick and fast. Do you reckon we'll cope? How do you feel?
Well, no big team until March, so none of the top three until March.
Yeah,
that's
two
interesting.
games in hand as well. So
yeah, so I'm looking at it going. Yeah, I think we'll beat Newcastle. Wolves game is just going to be the worst game of the season. It always is. Prepare yourselves for an absolute stinker, everybody, because that is the worst game in Premier League history. United against Wolves.
Yeah.
Do we grind it out? Do we get the win? I think we do. I think we just clinch it again like we did pretty much the last 3 or 4 times against Wolves.
Yeah.
They did have the voodoo on us at one point, but we sort of turned that around. But still, it's always been a hard game. Burnley we will beat. God, we don't beat them, then I give up.
Yeah. They haven't got
and then
beaten the goal, so we might do now.
Best game on the agenda, mate, is that Aston Villa one, back to back. That is going to be an absolute cracker. The FA Cup game will be. Oh, if we've still got fans in the stadium, Old Trafford will be bouncing. I think we'll have about 5,000 to 7,000 Villa fans in there as well.
Yeah,
it will be an awesome atmosphere. Gerrard, Villa, they've already beat us once at Old Trafford this season. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like, let's just stick it to Stevie G. That will be a great game to be at. That I do think we'll have enough, mate, to get through these games. It's going to be tough, but I think this little break, 5 days off from training for the players, I think it's going to help us. It's going to help Ralph. And I'm looking at it going, Arsenal not good enough to stay there. West Ham hit and miss. Tottenham maybe a danger the way Conte's got
Tottenham, yeah, they won today. You know, they're in that kind of momentum now. Momentum is key, Adam, isn't it? Momentum is very, very much key. Who can stay on to that momentum? Conte is the most, you know, he's an elite manager. You know, you can have that mentality. We added with a couple of squads. So we have got our work cut out, but it's not necessarily mean that we're out of the race, is it? You know what I mean? It's almost like one of them things where, you know we're there. It's like almost like, you know, when you do the relay and you feel like the guy in the back is at the back. You know, if you haven't watched things and you're not really good with your kind of symmetry, you think always a guy in the back has got it. But when the race comes along, you see that they're all in the same position. So you just feel like that, doesn't it? But we just need to get our kind of our gel.
Yeah, the rotation of games needs to come around to see where we're at. I do think by the end of January, I think we're going to know if we are realistically going to be pushing on. Because by then, Ralph would have got rid of who he wants to get rid of that he can right now. And if he has brought anyone in, I think we'll know then if the players are on board with the new system, with everything and all the changes. But what they've got to realise is Ralph's going nowhere. These players now are on the line. Their careers at United are on the line. You either put up or shut up.
Yeah, true.
And this is it. I think by January, the end of January, mate, I'm going to say this now. I think we will know.
Yeah.
We will know where our season's going, I think.
I just hope it's going to be
about probably a dozen more games into Ralph's tenure. By that point, I think that's probably going to be a good marker point right there for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lawrence Pillay with the last question here goes, do you think Matic will play left side centre back, play well against the young boys, and then Maguire in the role? Matic better? No. I think a lot of people, you know, had a go at me. Liverpool have won, by the way. Just one thing.
Came from behind again. God.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think so, mate. There was so many times where they got ours and Matic just looked like he was a bit, you know, his pace just didn't get there. So for me, no experiment can go. But big up to Freddie, says, love your work, guys. He ranked, we believe, he will get the boys straight. What a brilliant message to end the show. Big up to Freddie. Big up to everybody who's watched the episode or the show today. We're here every Wednesday live, people. You know what I mean? Adam obviously is busy on the Fridays and we couldn't work out a time. So we are going to do this show every Wednesday, 9 p.m., people. So
yes, although I may not be here next Wednesday if I'm out.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it all depends what Boris tells me over the next few days.
There you go.
You could be seeing a lot more. You could see us every day if Boris has his way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up Premsy TV as well. Big up to him. But also make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you subscribe there. It says it right there. Adam Matic TV. The link is also in the title as well. So big up to him. And yeah, man, obviously, if we're back Wednesday, we're back Wednesday, but the show will be every Wednesday. So hopefully we will be back next week. I might not be here tomorrow for a stream, but hopefully Friday I'll be back. So I'll keep you guys updated. Just check the community page on the YouTube. I'm always updating you guys on there. But thanks for everyone for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.